Echoes of the Past. Once upon a time in a quiet, sleepy town, there lived a man named Frank who was known far and wide for his peculiar passion. Frank had an old, dusty record store that he cherished more than anything else in the world. With an ever-present smile on his face, he spent his days surrounded by stacks of vinyl records from decades gone by. The townsfolk, on the other hand, were baffled by Frank's obsession. They couldn't understand why he didn't enjoy the lively disco tunes that filled the airwaves or the modern music that echoed from the city's clubs. Frank was a relic, they said, an old-fashioned soul living in a world that had moved on. One sunny afternoon, a group of teenagers decided to pay Frank a visit, hoping to enlighten him about the joys of contemporary music. They entered his store, blasting a recent hit on their portable speakers, trying to coax Frank into dancing. But Frank merely chuckled, shaking his head, and said, "Don't try to take me to a disco." The teens were determined, and they persisted in their quest to convert Frank to their musical preferences. But Frank remained steadfast. "You'll never even get me out on the floor," he declared. What the teens didn't realize was that Frank's love for old-time rock and roll ran deeper than just a preference, it was a connection to his past, a time when life was simpler, and memories were sweeter. As they played their modern tunes, Frank's mind wandered back to those days of old when he first fell in love with that old-time rock and roll. The sound of a soulful bluesy melody filled the store, and Frank closed his eyes, lost in the music. The teens watched in amazement as he began to tap his foot and sway to the rhythm. As the record played on, Frank's passion for the music ignited the curiosity of the teenagers. They soon found themselves mesmerized by the vintage sounds and the stories that the old records told. The once skeptical youth were now tapping their feet and swaying along with Frank. In that unexpected moment, a connection was formed between generations. Music had bridged the gap, reminding everyone that, deep down, they shared a common love for soulful melodies and timeless tunes. And so, the store that had once been a relic in a modern world became a gathering place, a haven for those who still appreciated the beauty of that old-time rock and roll. Frank had unwittingly become a musical mentor to the next generation, and the town discovered that sometimes, the past can bring a surprising harmony to the present. And as the lyrics from that old-time rock and roll filled the air, they all knew that some things would never change, still like that old-time rock and roll, that kind of music just soothes my soul. Old-time rock and roll, Bob Seger.